Okay, that's Audacity in. OBS has started recording. Welcome back to the 6th Newbie Rumble. This isn't gonna work. Get rid of that, get rid of this, so we load a bit faster, get rid of this. Just gonna save as much graphics as we possibly can. Now we're talking. Nothing to steal our precious RAM. And the battle begins. Sorry if the presentation quality is slightly lower than what it should be. Oh wow, rapid damage for the BB6. I'm not feeling 100% today. I've got the weirdest headache. I've got, what have I done? There we go. I've got like a tension type distribution of headache, but I've got, I don't have, I can't provoke the headache by massaging my upper neck, so it can't be cervical. It's not in a cervical pattern anyway, and I can't provoke it like with a tension type headache. So it could be tension type, but it's very unlikely. And it comes with a fever, so I'm definitely probably sick. It's not meningitis because the slump test has come up negative. And it gets slightly throbby if I push myself, but it's not throbby at a baseline level, so, and it's bilateral, so it doesn't fit the distribution pattern of a migraine either. Yeah, the whole situation is very strange, and it may diminish my ability to commentate, which is very unfortunate considering this is shaping up to be the grand final, which means I think I counted 7 individual matches, which may come to a maximum of, see, this will show you the condition I'm in. I can't do 7 times 3, but that many potential fights. I should be able to do that. 21. I'm gonna say 21. The, fun personal story. I actually really struggled to learn my timetables as a kid. I could not learn them from memorization. And what I ended up having was this book. It was like a textbook to teach you to memorize your times tables, but it did it by memory devices, where it would say stuff like, instead of a 3, you would imagine a tree, and instead of a 7, you would imagine surfing. And the way you combine those two things gets you a story that produces the product of that multiplication. So you'd have like tree times surfing. Well, when the tree goes surfing, see, this is the problem with the system, because I think the story was actually 20... No, it has to be 21. But I don't remember if it was... When the door goes surfing, it's like delivering pizza by surfboard, and it has a denty plate from smashing into all the boats. But I think there's one where when the tree goes surfing, it's so tall that it smashes into the sun, and you get a denty sun, which rhymes with 21. Expect a lot of this kind of commentary, because not only do these seem like attrition matches, but I'm also not particularly, I'm not all there. Anyway, the Silurian Stalker is doing really well as expected. I think most people are predicting it to be the winner of the tournament at this stage. It's definitely been the most devastating in the matches it's fought. What with its very effective decoy system, it's a powerful front side with a heavy armor shield, and it's got a pretty good laser. What more do you want, right? Torpedoes, I guess, but it's got those too. However, the BB6 did come into this match with, I think, more than double the materials, and it's also a bit of a repair tank. So there's pretty good odds that the BB6 may just out-attrition the Silurian Stalker like the Baneling did in the first round of its last match. So yeah, there's a lot that could happen, and it's all up in the air at the moment. We've hit the 4-minute mark, and if this is going to be an attrition match, it's going to go to fast forward. So I will mark that I'm fast forwarding here, and pull out. See, here's a little editing trick for you. When you're watching through the videos skipping ahead in Premiere or whatever you edit in, you can see where the video pulls out and know that's where you intended to fast forward. That'll really help save you some time when you're editing these. And now that I've added a whole minute to the time before the fast forward, and therefore probably about 5 minutes to the upload time and 2 minutes to the editing time, I'll put it into fast forward. See you guys at the end. Alright, we're 1 minute left. And you know what I've realized? Oh boy, that's a big chunk to lose. 9 minutes left, and you know what I've realized? It's all EternalDoom's fault. He called it the Silurian Tidestalker, but the decorative paint stripes are essentially cerulean. So I wasn't wrong this whole time. I was just using an appropriate adjective to describe its appearance. Yeah. That's where that's from. But back to the match. The Tidestalker hasn't run out of materials. Well, not yet at least. It's got about 10 seconds left to do it in, but it has dropped below the BB6, so it will most likely lose. Yep, it's out. Can't repair. Awesome. Exactly on the timer, we can call the match in favor of the BB6. This one is going into fast forward. You know the drill. Yeah. Once more, same as before. Oh, you want to know another good trick? Listen to something on your phone while you're recording the fast forward video. It increases the odds that you'll fuck up and miss something, but it also means that, you know, if there's a woman's voice or music coming through your headphones when you're skipping through in Adobe Premiere, it's really easy for you to go in and say, yep, I was fast forwarding at this time, and just listen for when that cuts out. Just like you can watch for where it zooms in. It's all about making your job easier. Anyway, fast forward. Well, this is a real shitfuck for me, isn't it? Because that means we're going to a third round. Okay. On it goes. Okay. Shit is getting tense now. The BB6 is absolutely trailing in regards to hit points, but the Silurian Tidestalker is very nearly out of materials. Ooh, they might have 30 seconds of materials left with 60 seconds on the clock. This could be game. The BB6 somehow way ahead on materials. Maybe nothing was as critically hit, maybe the repair bots are damaged. Either way, it's trailing by 10%. If these matches went on forever, I think it would take it, but they do not. The the Silurian Tidestalker's just run out of materials. So, this is going to be make or break if it can stay afloat. I don't know if it's running steam or fuel. If it's fuel, it should be dead. If it's steam, it might still have some grunt left in it. If it's batteries, it probably still has some charge. Oh, that's not what you want to see, is it? It's definitely starting to lose stability. But will it dive? It seems like it's going to be okay to keep retreating backwards for at least 10 more seconds, which is all it needs to... I can't count it out on a 10-second count with only 5 seconds left in the game, which means the Tidestalker is going to take it. That's it! 2-1 in favor of the Silurian Tidestalker. Congratulations, EternalDoom, you're moving up in the brackets. BB6, you're going to get a rematch because you're going to the losers brackets. Time to cut ahead because you didn't hear that. Time to cut ahead. Baneling versus the CL9. I know I say this a lot, but we're back. This time, it's the Baneling with just over 20,000. Why do you have 2,100? Is that how much you're meant to have? Baneling. Yeah, you came with 6,000 extras, so that's exactly the right amount. Versus the CL9. This is going to be an interesting match. The CL9 is undergunned, and the Baneling definitely has the penetrating power to take it out. But it's quite high up in the volume department, if I remember correctly. Nope. Legal volume. Interesting. Maybe it was the CL9 that was the BB8. BB8? BB6 that was over volume. BB8's that shitty R2-D2 knockoff from those, inadequate movies. Let's just leave it at that. How are we doing? The lambs on this thing was quite potent, if I remember correctly, and it seems to be shutting down the Baneling's heat shells quite effectively. The Baneling does have a laser, which does seem to be popping off quite happily, and the shields are deflecting a decent number of those shells. Heavy armor. Heavy armor's holding up well. What is that flash effect I'm seeing? I have no idea what that effect is. But the shells are doing well. And the Baneling is trailing on health. Not trailing on materials, though. The CL9 is slamming through its material allotment. It's amazing how two shells fired at a nearly identical time can have such different trajectories, isn't it? One shot down before it hits, and the other one slams into the water and slips under. I imagine that the CL9 will run out of materials, especially since it's apparently used 5,000 in a matter of minutes. But then again, maybe it'll went into charging batteries or something. I don't remember what it has. But since this is looking like an attrition fight, I think I'm going to have no choice but to start the fast forward early. I know I haven't done that previously, but, you know, always time for changes, always time for new things. See you guys at the 10-minute mark, I guess. Alright, this battle looks close to wrapping up. Tragically for the Baneling, it wasn't able to put out enough damage with the laser to drain the CL9's ammunition reserves and material reserves. So despite having a material lead, it wasn't a material lead that could, that could do the job. Anyway. Oh no, we've got 5 seconds left. Not that it's gonna matter. Okay, that's time. Baneling loses round 2. Now, I'll take a second to talk before this starts. There was an interesting division there, because both ships had plenty of materials left at the end of their battles. What was really strange was the Baneling wasn't using its materials quickly enough to keep up with the damage it was taking, but it wasn't using its materials quickly enough to run out by the end of the match either. And it definitely wasn't using them on interceptors, because, as we're about to see, it doesn't seem to have any. Oh no, it does. So maybe the interceptor budget was all EMP'd out. That's a mistake I would make too. I always leave my interceptors exposed. Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, aren't they insulated on those little sub-objects that launch them out at 45-degree angles? They are. Look at that. What bad luck that they would be hit then. Possibly if they don't take EMP hits, this match will go a bit differently. Well, that's my cue to fast forward. Okay. This seems like as good a place as any to come back in. It seems that we're staring down the barrel of another mirror match. Both ships have plenty left in the tank, unfortunately for them. Well, unfortunately for the Baneling, because perhaps with 3,000 more in repairs, 10% health, it wouldn't have been able to afford it. But, yeah. This looks like it's another sweep for the CL9, undamaged because of its ridiculous lambs. Seriously, what's the volume on this thing? Ah, yes, 16,000. So that goes some way towards explaining how it was able to pack such a powerful lambs array in, but I wasn't too picky with volume in this tournament. Possibly I should have been stricter with it, but you know. This thing is undergunned, and it does get crippled fairly easily. It was weak to just about any type of kinetics, a packet get through. Even enough money in lasers would do it. I expect the CL9 will have no trouble with it. Just unfortunate that Takir happened to bring the exact type of armament that this could resist. A small enough laser to be healed away. And were those explosive shells? I didn't see fragments coming out of them. Maybe Heat and Squash behave differently. Anyway, that is the match. And now I'm gonna have to go check the brackets and see who's up next. and the battle begins. This time, it's From the Depths by Jeoshy with 18 materials bonus versus the Eldritch by CuthuluhWhen with 16. Was it? No, Eldritch gets 11 and From the Depths gets 187. Did I give it the right allowance? Ooh, I hope 100 materials doesn't matter, but I'll be able to check later. Yeah, both missile boats, which is going to make this really interesting. The From the Depths relies on torpedoes, as I'm sure everyone is aware by now, and the Eldritch relies on these missiles. From the Depths seems to be doing okay, so let's wait and see what the Salmon Swarm does. Are there no torpedo defenses on the Eldritch? Ooh boy. That's a lot of damage, but not enough a lot of damage to put a hole in the hull. The Eldritch is still happily floating along. In fact, almost completely out of the water, remarkably. Very buoyant vessel. We've seen a few ships try to be completely below the water. It's very rare to see one that almost hovers. If it had been running a jet engine instead of steam turbines, it probably could have quite comfortably broken the speed limit and gone beyond 50 meters per second. The Eldritch is definitely not taking the hits as well as the From the Depths is. And if we take a look, the reason for that is because the sea-skimming missiles seem to be either going into the ocean or just not going high enough, and it looks like they've been EMP'd because I'm not seeing any more coming out. Jeoshy hiding deep in the water, demonstrating the classic approach. Heavy, heavy, heavy armor on this thing. And tragically, the Eldritch has been slain, likely by EMP. A quick one for a change. Amazing that it got this far in, managing to avoid EMP boats then. But that is the match. Let's set her up again and hope it's quick. I might not have to put these into fast forward. And just for funsies, let's watch the From the Depths this time, because I want to see what was going on with the Eldritch's missiles that led to such a poor showing. They're laser guided, but it seems the laser is aiming below the waterline. Are they hybrid missile torpedoes? Did they just not work at such colossal range? They're not hybrids. That might be part of the problem. If these were set to aim above water, they might be getting much better hits. This first volley is doing well though, so maybe it was EMP that did all the damage. 5% health gone. Hold on, these might be torpedoes. No, it doesn't look like they have a secondary torpedo propeller at all. That will get you. Yeah, if they'd had secondary torpedo propellers or an aim above water card, this might have been very different. Tragically though, it seems that the first salmon swarms are just starting to hit, and they're definitely taking a toll. There are missiles in the air coming in, but judging by how the EMP went last time, they will likely be the last ones. And again, at extreme ranges, suffering from the aim point card. Although perhaps there's not enough above the water to really pick a target. Much better hits this time. Unfortunately, none of them seem to be critical or on anything that the From the Depths can't afford to lose. The EMP is saturating through that heavy armor box, but I doubt it's going to take out any of the small launchers. And there are still missiles launching, so the Eldritch must be doing okay. Maybe it was just a lucky hit last time. The missiles are still coming through. Unfortunately for the From the Depths, or unfortunately for the Eldritch, this isn't enough to sink the From the Depths. If they manage to blow off all the blocks above the waterline, that'd be a different story. If that gets managed, then I'd have to start a countdown, but for now, things are going pretty well in Joshy's favor. I say that, but has he stopped fire? Oh, yep. Eldritch has had its AI killed. 2 minutes again. Much better this time, but unfortunately, EMP installation wins games. And that's the outcome we're seeing here. Good matches by everyone. Congratulations, Jeoshy, you're advancing, and CuthuluhWhen, you did really well to get this far. Yeah, actually quite a scary boat. Unfortunate that you matched up against someone who was so heavily prepared to counter your blueprint. And that ends round, what is it, round 4? Semi-finals, yes, that's the end of the semi-finals. Next we have the finals, so I'll update the brackets and then get right into it. Okay, well, Challenge has apparently died, but that's okay, because before it died I was able to update the brackets, and the current match is Joshy's FromTheDepths versus the CL9 by Al. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting fight, because the CL9 goes very hard on its laser anti-munition systems, and the FromTheDepths is all about those small missiles, which we should have seen come out by now. I thought they launched instantly. I expect they were meant to go deeper, but unfortunately I do all these battles at 8-8, and 8-8 happens to have pros of 8-8 are there's no land around for miles. Cons of 8-8, there's plenty of land, you know, what, 40 meters down. Who was it that was not quite sinking? Was it the Helium that was almost sinking but not quite because of the depth? I wonder how long it is. 50 meters maybe? I'm happy to call it 50 to 60 meter depth. But this is going to be a series of deciding moments. This ship is definitely not interceptors. Well, it's a cute attempt. This ship definitely isn't thick enough to tank it on health. And with a lead belly, unless there's a metal liner under that, that is lead, right? Is it stone? Maybe it's stone. If it's stone, it's definitely gonna eat shit from high explosives. This may quickly become one-sided. FromTheDepths is eating hits quite happily, those small caliber. Hold on. Now that's interesting, because that Salmon Swarm didn't do nearly as much as I expected it would. Have these two fought before? I think they have. Let's see how damaged we are. There's a lot of damage spread fairly widely, so just because there's no blocks falling off yet, doesn't mean there won't be blocks falling off now. That's a bit closer to what I expected. It seems like a lot of the torpedoes have gotten lost, but this is the kind of fight where a few missing torpedoes aren't going to make a big difference. That's a bit closer to what I expected would happen. Absolutely brutal, and a lot of that bottom layer of stone is just torn off. I'm sure it's ablative, but I don't know how much that's going to help, because engines are exposed now, and so are laser compartments. And, well, one of those is going to matter a lot more than the other. At least as far as repair costs are concerned. The CL9 is outlasting in FromTheDepths in regards to materials. They're on pretty similar health percentages, identical even. But when you start having to repair internal components, that can change pretty quickly. Ooh, that's expensive. Now those look like dead propellers. Those look like dead fuel and laser cavities. And that looks like an exposed AI core. depending on the EMP that hits next, this may be over quickly. There's at least one hit to the AI box, and another, and another. High explosive isn't likely to get through. I'm expecting the EMP soak to do most of the heavy lifting here. The chip damage is not to be sneezed at either, though. It's possible that the hits will just dislodge the AI box and it'll fall into the ocean before anything serious happens. However, the crippling of these guns is going to severely reduce the CL9's ability to retaliate. You know, I'm 90% sure we've seen this matchup already. I want to put it into fast forward, but I also really want to see the core ripped out. I almost feel bad for the Baneling in its matchup, where it really struggled to get hits in. It's almost satisfying to see this, knowing, you know, it's not undefeatable because of its enormous girth. Although the FromTheDepths might prove undefeatable. So, we'll see. Missile spam will take you a long way. I wonder if the loss of air pumps will make a difference. I doubt that it will, but you never know. It's not really sinking. It might be a bit lower in the water, actually. Wouldn't it be funny if this was a win by sinking instead of a win by AI kill? Reduced to one gun now, but FromTheDepths is happily ahead on materials. It seems the CL9 isn't able to repair anymore either. So the odds of it sinking before a kill comes through is... wow. Remarkable durability on those. I can't believe they're still hanging in there. I'm not sure what was turreted here, but it's gone now. Is that an... no, that's a surge protector. The surge protector on the main side is unsurprisingly lost. Perhaps this was sonar of some kind. It's an interesting little pod structure here. I wonder what it was set up to defend, and heavy armor too. That precious anti-missile turret, unfortunately, just could not withstand the beating it was inevitably going to take. How did this get so... there goes half the turrets. It's a nice camo. Very nice circles. Is that multiple small mimics or one large mimic? Yet more damage soaking into the AI compartment. Fortunately, I'm not going to force you to watch much more, because one more hit will definitely prove fatal. And then we'll be able to jump into a second match that will be fast forward. Come on, can we get the kill before we hit the 7-minute mark? No chance. 7 minutes of not fast forward video. I hope that's what you came here to see. And there's the kill. Amazingly, the AI box held up through it all. I'm assuming that's what's in here. Yep, it survived. Very impressive. The CL9 is despawning. Let's get on to match 2. Well, this seems to be the final missile barrage. It seems also that my router has exploded, which has prevented me from looking at the challenge brackets for a little bit. But, ooh, were they out of range? Maybe one more, yes. Well, I've put the mobile data to look at the brackets now, and it seems that whoever wins this, which is most likely going to be the From the Depths, will go on to face the BB6. It would have been interesting to see if the BB6 could beat the CL9. Al's designs, as far as I know, haven't actually matched up against each other in this tournament. So that would have been fun, but I don't think a rematch of either of them against the Silurian Tidestalker would have been as interesting. Out of range. I wonder if the From the Depths is out of range on purpose. I really hope this isn't going to go the full time. Although the CL9 is incapable of repairs and incapable of attack. And incapable of locomotion. And is below the From the Depths in points, in health. And the From the Depths is made of alloy, so there's no way it can sink. Realistically, I could just call this in favor, but with 2% left, I don't want to do that. Are you failing to advance or something? Huh. Okay, so the From the Depths has lost steering. The one thing for it to lose. They're both immobilized. If only I were running DQ points, right? Who knows, one of them might have been kicked out by now. I'm not going to wait 2 more minutes. Can't repair, can't attack, can't repair, out of materials, not sinking, higher health percentage. The match goes to From the Depths, despite the overall fuckery of it. And, hold on. There is... How disappointing. Yes, match goes to From the Depths. From the Depths will now face off against the BB6. Alright. We are back, and it is on. This is going to be interesting, because not only does the... Well, no, that's not how it works. The BB6 is not a champion design like the From the Depths. And so it does come in with 30,000 more materials to play with, most of which is actually, in the case of the BB6, allocated to fuel for repairs and materials. So this will be an interesting match in regards to the fact that it has more than double the material allotment that the From the Depths has, and is 10k more beefy. It's definitely got the edge. However, with its main armament underwater and in direct line of sight of these torpedoes, direct line of fire, it's possibly just a matter of time before it gets crippled or killed. It didn't get taken out there, and it's repairing quickly, but From the Depths has never been shy with its torpedoes. So let's already down 10%. That's remarkable. However, already down several thousand materials. There's the kind of hit that you don't want to see your guns taking. Somehow still holding. Somehow still got all its beautiful mimics too. The sonar, not destroyed. The bows taking hits. Is there a hole? Not a significant hole. It seems likely that the CL9 will be what goes to the finals to match against the Silurian Tidestalker. Which would be unfortunate, because I believe it was the Silurian Tidestalker that put the CL9 here, and I also believe those were 10-minute long matches. Not good for me. But, yeah, you know, we'll see. A lot more damage slipping through. hard to assess, but it seems that more and more sonar is being exposed. The From the Depths is likely still close to full health, but we should go check it out anyway. Has it had its... Man, that is a lot of damage to take. It seems like... Then again, that is, what, 1 layer metal, 1 layer wood? That armor is very ablative. The main body of the thing seems to be holding pretty well. At least these wooden wedges are. Are they wood or rubber? If they're rubber, that would explain some of the kinetic resistance, but I believe these are piercing shells, not hollow points. Yep, that is not how a hollow point reacts when it hits rubber. The thing's still happy and firing, right? Yeah, I just saw it fire. Meanwhile, the BB6 has taken 10% damage, which means that the missile soak is outpacing repairs. One of the guns has lost a bit of its barrel. That's never good when you're running kinetics. Both guns have lost a bit of barrel. Or maybe they were always short. I don't know. What have been used as mimics here? Are these circular mantlets being connected together to create bigger, thicker mantlets? Makes it hard to assess the internal damage. These things were well heat insulated. Look at that, there's even heat insulation to the back of the turret. How about the front of the ship? I'm pretty sure that was all just armor. It can take a lot. It's the turret that's the real Achilles heel. However, a tragedy for jeoshy, that turret is coated in heavy armor. Ooh. It does seem to have some holes though. Some hits creeping through there could kill the whole thing. Has it fallen silent? That can only mean two things. Either it is successfully killed its opponent, which seems to be the case, or it's destroyed. It seems to be the former. From the Depths is disqualified, not before it came very close to crippling the BB6, however. On to match 2. This one will get fast forwarded. Not because I think it'll go particularly long, but just because I'm lazy. And that's the second kill in pretty much as quick a time for the BB6, which means, if I understand my brackets correctly, it will be going for a rematch. And we are into the grand final. Silurian Tidestalker, once again matching up against the BB6. Battle of the long-range stall builds. Last time, the Silurian Tidestalker did not run out of materials. Hopefully the BB6 can maintain, hopefully for Al at least, the BB6 can maintain its detection. Well, I spoke a bit too soon there, didn't I? Sorry, I think I jinxed it. Hopefully it can maintain the rest of its detections and not miss as many shots and do a bit more damage and grind away at that shield and cost a bit more in repairs. Time will tell. let's investigate the situation. Once again, the BB6 has taken a lot of superficial damage. Fortunately, still holding on in a few places. The superstructure hasn't been severed. That would be expensive to repair, if it even could. I guess it has enough spare materials. The Silurian Tidestalker is out of ammunition, however, once again, out of materials, however, once again, it is staying afloat, just barely. Unfortunately for the BB6, it seems it did do enough damage to cripple the Silurian Tidestalker, run it out of materials, and it would have sunk eventually, but at this point, it is still afloat. What the... Fuck me dead. You can't get 5 minutes of peace, can you? Yeah, what was I saying before I was interrupted? It's still afloat, so that's round 1 to the Silurian Tidestalker. Nice effort though. You got pretty close. Round 2. If the BB6 doesn't win this, the Tidestalker takes the tournament. And, unfortunately, it's going to be a material grind, so there's not going to be anything dramatic to watch. So I'll see you guys in probably, I don't know, 9 minutes. The worst has come to pass. The Silurian Tidestalker is on a lower health percentage with 1 minute left on the clock. Watch my phone scream at me when I do this. It's gonna be hilarious. Shut up, you. And there we go. Yes, the Silurian Tidestalker has fallen behind in hit points, which somehow, I guess it got a huge chunk of its tail torn out. That'll do it. And a huge chunk of its bow torn out. That'll do it. Fucking dramatic. And unfortunately, that means we're going to a 3rd round. Very sad for me, because it means this video is just getting longer and longer. Lucky I fucking cleared out my C drive. I wouldn't have space to store all this footage. Did I ever tell you guys about OBS and about Adobe Premiere and why I hate Adobe Premiere? It's not really OBS's fault. So OBS Premiere, when you import video into Premiere, that's 1 to BB6, so we need a tiebreaker. When you import video into Premiere, what happens is it saves a copy of whatever you import in a special Premiere-only file type, and it saves it in some random folder hidden deep in your program files. And it doesn't tell you that it's there, and clearing out your cache doesn't remove it either. So basically every single piece of footage you ever import into Premiere gets a duplicate copy sitting hidden in your hard drive and wasting however many gigabytes it takes to store. It's a really unfortunate situation, and it's the situation I find myself in, or found myself in, after two, right? After 2 Newbie Rumbles, I discovered that I had 2 Newbie Rumbles worth of video clogging my C drive, and I only had like 5-10 megabytes, and I was deleting shit left, right, and center. Delete Minecraft, uninstall Overwatch. I mean, they were shitty games anyway, I can live without them. All we need is FromTheDepths, am I right? But, yeah. I finally found the Adobe folder and cleared it out, so luckily I've got 20 gigs to play with now. Had 20 gigs, God knows how big this is going to be. Well, this is the match to decide it all. I think I've said more than enough unrelated crap. This may not be the match to decide it all. That's the scary thing for me. If the BB6 wins this, my fucking life will be destroyed, because I'll be here for another 30 minutes, possibly, working out who won in 3 more matches. So with any luck, the Silurian Tidestalker will win this, but, well, you know, nothing is certain in this life, is it? How's the BB6 doing? Please chop the superstructure off. Cripple it, something. Please die. Okay. Oh no. 2% difference. And that's it. The BB6 has pulled a fucking head. God damn. 3 more matches. Here we go. Fucking hell. You couldn't set an aim above water card on that thing? God damn it. Christ. Well, not much point now. You're not going to make up the difference with 400 materials. How long have I been recording? Like 20 minutes? Why below water again? Ugh. Please, just cut the superstructure off. That could be 5%. You can make it up. Come on. It's over, isn't it? Yep. We're doing 5 more matches. 5 more. 3 more matches. Okay. Silurian Tidestalker is out of ammunition. Dear God. The laser compartment is surprisingly barely damaged. You know what I think it is? I think it's actually losing the tail. Every round where it's lost the tail, it hasn't had missiles. And that's been the game. decided. Well, yep, Silurian Tidestalker is defenseless. That's round. Okay. BB6 has won this, but of course it won it from the loser's bracket. So now, there is one more set of 2 to 3 matches to decide the true winner. We're looking at we've already got an hour of Silurian Tidestalker versus BB6. We're going for an hour and 30. This may be the longest tournament video ever recorded. That's probably not true. I bet some of the center point videos took longer. I bet some of the, what were they called? Sea Encounters videos took longer because they were played at half speed, but god damn. You know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe losing the torpedoes early. No, the EMP would be important. Well, fast forward it is. The unfucking thinkable has occurred. Look at that. It's gone! It's actually gone! The superstructure is gone, and 40% of the BB6's health is gone. We're still gonna be going the full 10 minutes, so that's fun. But the important thing is that as long as the Silurian Tidestalker does this again, I will only have 10 more minutes of footage to record, and not the worst case scenario of twice that. As long as I have to record less footage, it's a good outcome. Look at all this. Look at all that beef. It's annoyingly unsinkable. But the good news is, even with no materials left, there's no chance the BB6 can make up the difference. Ooh. Come on. 20 more seconds. Can't go fast enough. You're within the volume limit, right? Yeah, easy. You're not gonna sink, right? And it didn't sink. That's 1 to the Silurian Tidestalker. If it wins again, I'm finally free. You know how this works by now. is quite a dramatic hit. It seems that the BB-6's main armament has been destroyed, and my guess is it will be unable to repair in time. Or at all, considering the magnitude of the damage. With 15,000 in reserves, even if every single point went into it instantly, I'm not sure that could save it. And it seems the superstructure is about to come off. So, this might be the first match in some time where the BB-6 won't go the full duration. However, the Tidestalker is out of materials to fire missiles with. It might not be able to get the BB-6 down that last 2%. Time will tell, I guess. This seems pretty decided. I won't call it yet, but I will start the wrap-up. It's been a really good tournament. I've got to say, thanks to everyone who participated, and congratulations to everyone for however far you got, even if you got knocked out in the first round. I mean, half the tournament pretty much has to, right? And that's still a bunch of great entries, and I'm glad we got to see them all match up. On to more bureaucratic stuff. I don't think I'm going to be continuing to run the Newbie Rumble. And mostly that's because university demands are picking up, and honestly, I've run, or helped to run 3 of them in a row now. Starting to get a bit fatigued, and I want to work on other projects. I mean, this video especially points out, I've, started recording at 5 and it's nearly 8:30 maybe? Maybe I started at 5. Yeah, these things eat time. They eat time to film, they eat time to edit, and they eat time to upload. So, that's not to say I won't be around, but I'm going to be working on some other stuff. I'm sure someone else will pick the tournament up and it'll continue to run. But it won't be me, at least not for the next one. I think with 0.3% and 30 seconds left on the clock, is the Silurian Tidestalker so out of materials that it can't damage them? There's no way it can repair enough in time. Congratulations, EternalDoom. You have, if I've correctly memorized how these fights went, I'm sure someone will correct me if I haven't, you have won the Newbie Rumble, unless you sink in the next 10 seconds. Congratulations, Al. You had 2 ships in the finals. That's an incredible result, and again, congratulations to everyone else who entered. It's been great. I'm gonna go have some dinner. See you guys around. That'll be OBS out and Audacity out. I was wrong. This is not going to be a rematch. This is going to be the CL9 versus the BB6. One ship significantly over volume and undergunned. The other ship, within volume and more than adequately gunned. So this is likely going to be a pretty straightforward match. My money's on the ship with the effective gun, but we'll see. Especially considering its super cab and the laser anti-munition system in the God, I can't remember which one's which. Let's see if they have writing on them I can look at. I believe... Hold on, I can tell by the material allotments. The BB6 gets extra materials, which means the BB6 is the big boy. The CL9 must be the one we're looking at now. Let's see how the BB6 is doing. As you'd expect, it's actually taking more damage. However, I'm guessing it doesn't repair as aggressively. We'll have to wait and see. It's definitely taking hits, but they're all below the waterline, so they're definitely going to be weakened. To some degree, at least. Yep, the CL9 is starting to fall behind. Was that a damage going through the parts? Was it a gun? Nah, the guns are happy, but it's listing badly. The laser lines running through it. Yeah, laser compartments are taking hits. Only a matter of time now. Unfortunate that the aim point is so low for these shots. You really want to see them hitting a bit higher, don't you? Honestly, I'm surprised that super cavitation rounds made it this far. I know it's a very powerful ship design, but super cav loses you what? 20% of the speed? And 20% of the speed is more than 20% of the damage. I'm actually quite shocked that a front-sider with a more conventional armament didn't... Do you mind? I'm trying to commentate. Time to go release the cripple. Bloody hell, I'm gonna have to edit that out. At least it's at pretty much exactly 3 minutes. That'll make it easier to find. Who knows, maybe I'll be lazy and leave it in. Just destroy some people's ears. How are we doing? Is this going to be a long one? 9% across 3 minutes? Yeah, this is going to be a long one. Yeah, we're probably going to have to take this to fast forward. Especially since none of the guns have been hit yet, which is an unusual case. The armor is peeling away, but... yeah, we're going to fast forward. Right, this seems pretty close to the end of the match, and pretty clearly decided. The CL9 is hemorrhaging health, not enough to kill it, but definitely enough to lose at the match. The BB6 has plenty of materials left, and it's happy to chew away at them. So, I'm calling this in favor of the BB6. Let's move on to round 2. I'm sure this won't shock anyone, but we're going straight to fast forward. Before I do that though, I've got to say, this is pretty much the ideal, isn't it, Al? Ideal would be both your designs facing each other in the final, in the grand final, but both your designs facing each other in the final of the losers bracket is just about the next best thing. Congratulations, man, you did really well. Even if you get hard counted by the Silurian Stalker in the next round, which, I mean, is, let's be fair, probably what's going to happen. You should be really proud that you got this far. Your designs have been very solid. Anyway, let's get on with the violence. let's see how we're doing. It's been a long 10 minutes. The CL9 almost out of materials, remarkably, but I guess still chugging along. Not sinking either. Testament to passive buoyancy. The BB6 pretty much still on 100% health. Pretty much still got more than half of its, just under half of its material allotment left to go. Yeah, this sets us up for the BB6 to rematch. Holy shit. 3 of these guns are still firing? My god. Some things just never die. Now let's see. Setup. Let's go.